We're continuing building out a CMS. I'm going to go over the things that I've done since the last video, which is primarily create a mock-up of the site settings form for the back end of the CMS, and then also worked on a lot of styling around the main menu bar across the top here, just under the header. And now I'm beginning to look at icons for visual styling, and then I'm also thinking about the links. So like where it says A and B here to the left of the main content, this is where I anticipate having links or icons that allow you to switch between front end and back end. So this is the toolbar. And if I hit F12 to create a scroll bar, I'm anticipating that the toolbar will be at a fixed location so that it's always consistent. You can always just move your cursor there to modify things. Now I want to talk briefly about the form that I created, and then I'll talk about the main menu, and then I'll talk about where I'm at now and where I'm headed. So this is the form that I created. It's just a mock-up. It's not yet connected to the database. It's not yet pulling in live values. This logo field needs to be changed to a file picker. Main and subtitle should obviously pull in the existing data. But basically there's a general site settings, user membership settings, user authentication settings, and then cache and history settings. And you can take a look at all this. I will share the source code in the description. So this particular page, again, is representing the back end of the CMS. And you can see that I've chosen to have cards here with icons and a description of the link. And then I've also chosen to have them kind of scale and pop out. I might change that in the future, but for now, that's what I wanted to do. So that's the look and feel of the main menu by default on the back end side. Now this is an example of the front end side. I'm going to go ahead and hit F5 just to refresh the page. And so I have a few examples here, both with and without icons. Now I would imagine that a sane person would either always have icons or never have icons, but I made sure that it would be somewhat functional both with and without. So it's vertically centering the content whether you have an icon like this one or you don't. And you'll notice I've got some hover menus working. And if you're on the rightmost child, then the hover menus move that direction, right to left. And if I remove all the icons, so I'm going to delete that one icon, you can see that it completely changes the look and feel of the main list, but all the sublists behave exactly the same. And I might need to give a little more space here, or possibly right around these carets, I might want to place like an invisible circular area so that as you're just moving your cursor, if you're moving your cursor diagonally, if you clip the top edge of the one here, maybe we keep this menu open. So I might have some invisible circles around the transition points. I'll have to think about that. But for now, if you're very careful with the cursor, you can just move your cursor down, over, down, over, down, over, down, over, down, over. And of course, these don't actually link to anything yet. They don't have real names or descriptions. But the styling is there. So now, once we hook it up, it'll make sense. So the next thing I'm working on, other than on the front end, I'm going to work on the toolbar. And then on the back end, I'm working on getting some icons. So I've been looking over here at Icons 8. This is one that a site that I've shared in an earlier video. And I looked at all different kinds of font families and style families. And there's a couple that I like. I like the parakeet line. I do like the outline hand-drawn. And I kind of like iOS 17 outlined, but it's kind of hit and miss. And then I've kept this Forma Light just in case the others are missing an icon. This one might have it. But I think mostly I like the first two, the parakeet line and the hand-drawn outline. So I'm thinking that I will add to the site settings a stylistic choice to either use these types of icons or those types of icons. And so I've been looking at all of this main menu and I've been thinking, what are the most difficult ones to find icons for? Because to me, a lot of these are very simple. Settings, users, pages, logs, those will be really easy to find icons for. So in my opinion, the most difficult would be things like modules, or in particular, modules versus content. And so I think on the module side, I want to emphasize that it's more of a plugin. And on the content side, I may want to emphasize more of a page layout icon. And then also URLs have been particularly difficult to find a good icon for. Another thing I want to mention is, as I was searching for modules, I finally settled on this keyword cubes. And so this one has an example of registry editor and then this sort of style. And then cubes here, similar, they have a lot more choices. They have these 3 cubes here, styled as sugar cubes, that I don't really like. This one here I do like, and this one here I don't like. And so what I'm thinking is, it seems like most things that I like are either in parakeet or hand-drawn. So I like the hand-drawn, but I don't like the parakeet. So I'm thinking, well, maybe I'll just merge the two and create my own, and then I'll be able to still generally kind of sort of have either look and feel A or look and feel B. So I'm switching over to Photopea here. So at this layer, we have the out of the box from the hand drawn, and this layer is out of the box from parakeet. This layer is the portion of parakeet that I chose to keep, so I cut out everything in the center, and then I cut out the center of the hand drawn one so that I can overlay them. But then on the inner portion, I've added a stroke effect. And so this is with the stroke effect, and this is without. So it just makes it a little bit bolder so that it kind of matches the thickness of the outside. So I'm going to go ahead and export this later, and then I'll hook in additional site settings. So probably under general site settings, I'll have something to the effect of CMS image style. It'll probably be a drop down. I like drop downs because then it's not freeform. And then you'll be able to choose between style A or style B. And then it'll automatically swap all the applicable icons for you. So that's kind of where things are at. And then, of course, next steps beyond the toolbar and the icons, at that point, I won't really have anything on the front end left to do. And so I'll shift to the back end. And I think I'm going to start with as many of these general site settings as I can at this point. And then I'll probably start mocking up forms for these other sections, even if they're not doing anything. And then we'll just start attacking one module at a time. And we may have to bounce around a little bit. I'm sure that some of the bigger ones, like settings and permissions, are probably so overarching that we won't be able to actually finish them until the very end. Some of these other ones, maybe roles, maybe users, URLs, those will probably be smaller, and we'll be able to maybe get them done in 1 or 2 videos. So that's my update. Thanks for watching.